Welcome. Congratulations on reaching the last module of this course. And congratulations for all the hard work that you've put in to work through the modules and to work through the exercises and reach this last module. In this module, we'll just take a quick wrap up of what we have covered in the entire course. So in chapter 1, we talked about Introduction to Information Security, and we talked about some basic terminology in order to make sure that we understand what the terminology is about and in the fundamentals to information security. We talked about some basic terms and introduction and some basic concepts, and we also talked about the status of information security in Pakistan. So this first module became the foundation for the other following modules. In chapter 2, we talked about the typical enterprise IT architecture and security overlay. So here it was important to understand that what does the enterprise IT network really look like, and how do you lay the security overlay, the security devices, security tools, security products, where do they fit in and what do they really do? So that's really important to understand from a visual perspective as well. And we talked about what does IT enterprise topology look like, security tools overlay, and the structure of IT teams and security roles in an enterprise as well. So what is the organogram of an IT team? What is the organogram and what are the roles of a security team? In chapter 3, the title was Security Transformation Stage 1, Security Hardening, and we talked about the security transformation program, the problems that exist in the industry and how the security transformation program solves that. We talked about the description of security hardening, what it is, what the sequence is, how it's done, why it needs to be conducted, who conducts the security hardening, and then we talked about security hardening case studies for a wide number of assets and a variety of IT assets through CIS, Center of Internet Security benchmarks, or DISA STIGs, and we actually walked through those benchmarks just to familiarize you with what the benchmarks actually look like. Then in chapter 4, we went to the second layer of the security transformation model, which is security transformation stage 2, vulnerability management. We talked about what vulnerability management is, why and how the default IT assets or the default software is always insecure, what the patch management cycle looks like, the vulnerability management description and introduction, vulnerability management tool demos, for example, for Qualys, and we talked about some other tools as well. And then we talked about vulnerability management best practices. And this was the second stage of the vulnerability of the security transformation model. Then we went to chapter 5 and we discussed security transformation stage 3 or security engineering. And here we covered in detail what exactly security engineering is, who conducts security engineering, and the CIS 20 critical controls. We walked through each of the controls in depth so that you can get familiar with them. In chapter 6, we talked about the last stage or the last layer of the transformation model, which is security transformation stage 4, security governance. And here we talked about security governance introduction, terminology, different governance frameworks like PCI and COBIT and ISO 27001. We talked about in detail about the appendix controls of ISO 27001 2013. And then we talked about the cybersecurity maturity matrix and talked about all the 6 layers of the cybersecurity maturity matrix as well. Finally, chapter 7, we went on and talked about security testing and validation, because after you've done the security transformation, then now it's time to test and validate. We talked about security assessment types and what exactly validation is. We talked about security accreditation, software security testing and validation as a program, and the stages of a third-party penetration test. In chapter 8, the last chapter, we talked about security transformation key success factors, how to conduct a successful security transformation with the help of leadership, and what other key success factors are. We talked about the timeline of a security transformation program or project and the project management aspect, and we talked about the security transformation benefits as well. So as you can see, we have talked about in this course on a very practical mechanism and a structure and a methodology, which is a purely the methodology or the structure is purely an original mechanism which has been proposed, and we have used different international best practices and frameworks and standards like ISO 27001 or CIS or DISA or PCI. We have talked about it, or we have talked about OWASP, for example. So we have drawn in all these internationally used tools and security controls, but all the methodologies that you have seen in this course were all original, based on our rich consulting experience, which my company has been implementing, Delta Tech has been implementing. It's all based on real world experience from the industry. And we now want you to utilize all the knowledge and the experience that you have gained from this course. And we want you to go out and become a security champion, because we want to improve the security posture of not only of Pakistan, but the region and the world. This is a responsibility. If you're a student, a researcher, a faculty member, a hobbyist, a pen tester, a system security expert, a network security expert, a software security expert, a security program manager, a security auditor, if you look after risk or security compliance, if you are a manager or an engineer, or you just started your security journey, irrespective where you are, or even if you are a CISO, or especially if you're a CISO, and if you're an IT head or CIO, this course is the perfect course and the perfect knowledge for you to go out and really make a difference, and to be effective and successful as a security professional, and to make your organization really implement a practical methodology, so that you can secure the security posture of your organization as per international best practices. I hope that you really enjoyed this course, and these are my email addresses and contact information, and we're looking forward that you can contact us, and we would love to put you possibly on an internship. If you want to get some real world experience, do contact the instructor on the email addresses which have been provided. Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to be your instructor for this course. Take care. That's all that we have for this module. Thank you.